To sheriffs over the past year, accusations of political corruption have made news in our area.
That's right. Our Riley Livingston talks with a political science professor about what could lead politicians to these alleged situations. She joins us in the studio with that part of the story.
Public corruption, the use of public resources for personal or political gain. And while most of the time safeguards are in place to prevent it, sometimes they're just not enough.
Temptation. It's something everyone faces, but for public officials with access to public resources, usually money, and sometimes without much monitoring, that temptation can be a stronger pull.
It's very difficult to regulate the use of resources. We have a state auditor's office, we have other controls, maybe even some at the local level, but they can't be there 24/7. And if somebody wants to be crafty, they can conceal what they're doing. They can misrepresent it, and they can get away with it at least for a while.
Not everyone succumbs to the temptation. Dr. Brian Anderson thinks it sometimes comes down to validation.
I think some of them it's a personal belief that they deserve a little more than they're getting in their office. And some folks out there, be it a sheriff or even somebody behind the scenes in an administrative capacity who works a really tough job and might get a lot of flack for what they do, they might feel like the official compensation for what they're doing is not enough.
And when that official is caught, the public trust can be broken.
And there's this assumption of integrity that goes into being a public servant. In fact, the name itself kind of, you want to feel good for this person, and then you feel slimed when you find out that they've been abusing their power. Especially for a personal purpose.
Dr. Anderson says it's always important to hold officials accountable.
We always have to fight against getting sloppy and against assuming that just because somebody is really doing a great job in their first couple years that they won't sort of slouch their way into a bad situation later in their career.
Transparency is key. Dr. Anderson says it's good to have outside agencies check in, have them look at quarterly reports and meetings, and if something doesn't add up, they can help figure out what's going on, and if there is a problem, get to the bottom of it.